Hi, my name is Missy once again. I'm going to talk about my home yard. It's pretty big and the soil is very rich. I live in Arizona and Arizona is pretty flat and humid, but it has a rich place to grow a garden. But you think it's dry, but no, it's good. So I have a garden. Well, I have fig trees. I have three. I have a fig tree and I have three lemon trees and then a raspberry bush. The worst is that I have bamboo and they're 25 feet tall. So the reason why is because my hometown they require irrigation, and so every couple of days for 3 hours you open up the water and it seeps in. I have one special pipe where you can open it up and you can kind of just leave it there itself. The water will continue to run for a couple hours. Kind of looks like a lake, just water completely across the grass. You gotta charge through it, but it's hot, so it's fine. It's not cold or anything. So it's just really beautiful green and rich and tons of worms. So I thought, well, I'm going to tune this up and make a garden for myself. But I didn't realize that gardens were hard. I was pretty ignorant at that point. My mom had made it before. I thought, okay, fine, I'll just become a little farmer. It's pretty simple. And so I went and got a special soil to build it up, and the truck came and dumped a huge pile on it, and I had to make it flat. Before, they had wood boxes where you would make it level, and you have to dig out the grass and everything, and the machine would come through and tear up the soil for you. So I thought it looked nice, so I got a wooden box for that, and more soil for the garden. It was a special kind. So the big truck came in and opened up and dumped it out, and I thought it was amazing. So I worked hard to flatten it out, and then I added all the seeds. So first I had cabbage and then squash and red peppers and then sprouts. So I would just started with 4 because I was a beginner. I had never done this before. And so I just thought I would see how it was going to work. But I didn't realize that cabbage was way easy to grow. And so I was very sparing with my seeds, putting them in a very particular order. Oh, you're supposed to be particular and put in just a few, but no, I was very generous and just chucked them on there, as well as with the red peppers. But I remember my mom telling me with the squash, you put in one and it just grows. You must leave space for it to grow, and because all the roots travel through, and it just becomes a very huge plant and hard to manage. And if you put it in a line, they'll become tangled up. So I remember my mom telling me that. So I just put in a few of those. Now, she told me that every morning you must water and take turns watering the different plants. You must take care of it and weed it. And so I remember that I had to take good care of the growth. But oftentimes birds would gather around and try to eat my seeds and my plants, and so it would try and scare them off. And I thought, oh, that's why my parents had a scarecrow. But I didn't really love having the scarecrow there, and I just wanted to not have the birds around. So what I would do is open the gate, and my dog would run after them, and the birds would flee. But the squash did not grow, and I was sad. The red peppers as well, there was nothing, maybe a little bud, but not really anything. But then the cabbage was growing quite fast. So 1 week or 2 weeks went by, and you need to understand that Arizona temperatures are very consistent, and for cabbage and squash, it's really easy to grow. So I made sure everything was fine and that the birds weren't picking on them or any other cats or things like that. So that it's good for, it's also good for other vegetables too. I just thought it was organic and natural, and I just thought it was going to be nice to have a garden. My baby as well was coming and picking through the garden. I thought, man, this is hard. Yeah, they said it's, farm life is really tough, my mom told me. You think it's nice, but it's really, you need a lot of hands. It's not possible just one. But I was patient, so finally a month went by, and the cabbage, remember, I didn't put a little, I put a lot. And the cabbage was just sprouting. There were so many, it was completely full. So it was easy to grow, but you need to understand that you need to eat cabbage every morning and night in order to use it up. You really can't do that. And so I started giving it to neighbors and friends, and they loved it, and they thought it was so good and fresh. The red squash was great, but the red peppers, there was nothing. That was pretty depressing. And the other bush was growing, but their worms were picking at it, and so it died. That was sad. So I'm really starting to respect my home life with my mom because I'm realizing how hard it is. So now I've implemented what I did there, where I have the wooden box where it keeps the worms out. You can save everything, and also I have a fence that goes over to protect the birds coming around. So hopefully next year I'll be successful. Well, we'll see.